Alright, so I have two jokes that I was thinking of for this press conference, and I'm just gonna say 'em. First joke. Ahem. Where was the car? Like, where's the car? Every year you show Forza, and I was on my bingo. I'm just gonna be like, Xbox shows Forza and a car on stage, and I write it down. You don't show a car. Fine. And that's the end of the first joke. Second joke. Well, I said EA was a little short yesterday, and I want to see more. Xbox must have heard me and said, let's make sure this is like 50 million hours long. Thanks. Okay, wasted a few hours of my life. Actually, no, I didn't, because that was really good. End of the second joke. Okay, Xbox press conference. Oh God, there's like I have like so much. They announced a lot of stuff. I mean, they said they were gonna announce a lot of stuff. But good lord, I thought it was like, oh, we're gonna have all these games, but no, they're just gonna show you every game in existence. Oh God. Okay, so let's start. There was some good. There was some slow. But there was still a lot of good. Let's start. They started the show with this beautiful opening, and I had no idea what it was. And every time I look at a game and I say, I don't know what that is, and then suddenly just one thing appears, and I'm like, oh, now I know what it is. Oh my God, that's what it is. Halo Infinite. That's basically the story of this. They announced Halo Infinite with the new Slip Space engine. My dogs are barking. And yeah, that was Halo Infinite. We don't know anything. We know it's the next chapter in the Master Chief saga. Great. Awesome. Then Phil Spencer comes out, does some talking, saying Xbox, we're gonna bring some awesome games to you. Like 50 games, 18 of them are like world premieres, and 15 of them are exclusive to Xbox. I'm like, alright, cool. Next, let's move on to the next game they showed, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. We kind of got a little look in the backstory of when we got this got Ori, and we got this new little baby owl creature, and we also got to look at the gameplay. We got some cool little platformer hack and slash and some flying through the platforms. It all just looks freaking beautiful. Everyone is like, just goes back to the first trailer, and I was crying. This time I'm crying a little again. But good lord, that was a beautiful game. I'm excited for that. And I said we're gonna get a release date. Nope, 2019. Dang it. Dang it. It's 2019. Oh well, but it still looks cool. That is very interesting. Next, From Software shows off Japanese Dark Souls. And that's every minute I saw that it was Japanese Dark. It's called Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It was Japanese Dark Souls. That is straight up what this was. It was, it clearly is the Dark Souls style games, because that's what From Software is about. But I got such a Dark Souls vibe from it, and that's what exactly. I'm sorry, that's the best way I can say it. It's Japanese ancient Japan Dark Souls. That's what this is. It looks friggin' awesome. But it's still, every time I look at it, I'm just going to refer to the Japanese Dark Souls. That's what it is. It looks cool. It looks interesting. I love ancient Japan. That looks so interesting. But, oh god. It literally took, this is the Dark Souls skin. Let's take off the Dark Souls part, put Japan. That's what it looked like to me. It, again, looked good, but yeah. Then, Todd Howard came on from Bethesda. They showed off Fallout 76. Well, at least they showed a trailer. They didn't give all their details because Larry was like, our stuff's in a couple hours, but we're going to give you a little trailer for Fallout 76, which is a prequel to every Fallout ever. This is the first Fallout. We're going to build back America. Put your little jokes here. But it looked interesting. I am interested in the story because this is like the first Fallout. But then I'm thinking, well, there are other Fallout games. So it was like, this is the first Fallout, but is this like the first one we're hearing about, and every other one happens after this? So there are other Fallout adventures? I'm interested in the story, definitely, and I am definitely going to watch more when I see the Bethesda conference. But this, interesting. Obviously, no release date because, no duh, we're going to see it later. Oh, and Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Japanese Dark Souls, 2019 as well. So yeah. Then we see pretty much the cutest thing from this new game, of course, from Square Enix, called The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. And it comes out literally the day after my birthday. And I was like, okay, I might sneak into my cousin's room and play their Xbox again. But yeah, it was interesting because it's set in the Life is Strange universe. And I know it's like, hey, this looks has the Life is Strange art style. And it's like, oh, it's set in the Strange universe, but it's a different story about this kid. And he just has this huge imagination and going all these worlds of imagination. He's fighting like space monsters as a superhero, and he's doing all this stuff. He sets up his own effects and explosions. Like he takes a snowman, puts a little stick of dynamite, like or firecracker. I'm not gonna say dynamite. Takes a little stick of firecracker, lights it up, like mind power, and the snowman explodes. And I'm like, where were you when I was growing up? And it looks cute. I love it. It's interesting, and like I said, it comes out June 26th this year, and I was like, oh cool, 2018 title, awesome. Then Terry Crews, Crackdown 3, February 2019. They just said 2019, and yeah, I know the game got delayed. It was more Crackdown 3. Terry Crews was voice acting over it, and that is pretty much it. Because I saw everything about Crackdown 3 last year. I've seen the stuff. I think it is interesting to a degree, but like, it was good, but I've seen it before. Awesome. I mean, obviously they had to show you again to let you know it exists and show you're still working on it, but obviously, yeah. All right. Another quick announcement: Nier Automata Xbox One Enhanced with all the DLC, all the special features coming again a day after my birthday. Okay, June 26th. Metro Exodus. There we go. We got a little trailer into kind of a little more of the lore and the world of where we are. So in this game, the world is like split up into factions, not necessarily of country. Like there's one point where there's two different factions who are, of course, on the train. They have to keep on the move, and they have to get more resources and stuff. There's even like one point where the guy says, "Look, just because they have our language, they could speak our language, they'll still hate us. So we gotta be on our game." That's pretty much it. We saw some cool some cool gunplay. We also saw some of the more monsters. We saw a very interesting train. I like the train aspect of it. I think it definitely was an interesting showing they had. It was very simple, just showing some gameplay, no live demo this time, but it was cool. And it comes out February 23rd, 2019. Let's see. Kingdom Hearts 3, a new trailer, Frozen's in it, no duh, Frozen's in it, January 29th, 2019. I liked it, though, it was here, because that was because of course they went multi-plat, and I liked for the first time we got to see it here, and I didn't have to wait till Sony or till even Square Enix, so that was cool. Sea of Thieves, 2 updates. One was of the Cursed Souls, which is coming out July, one Forsaken Island coming out September. I want to get that out of the way because I want to talk about the trailer. Because this woman in the trailer, look, she was obviously like a voodoo or like a mystic crystal ball gazer. So she was like picking up the crystal ball. I see the future. I see all of this. The Forsaken Island rises. The Sea of Thieves is gonna go crazy. And you just want to press this dang thing, don't you? I love that. That was funny. I don't know. Voice acting was just weird enough. It looks interesting. I'm glad the update's coming. From what I hear of the game, it needs it. But yeah, cool. Battlefield Nordley Story. I knew it was going to be here. Battlefield 5's Nordley Story. We got to look in that little story, and that's pretty much all I have to tell you. Like, literally everything about Battlefield 5 was revealed yesterday. This is just them saying, hey, this is a look in the story. Look at one of the stories called Nordley Story. Cool, great, move on. Forza Horizon 4. they showed they showed the new racing game, and I was like, okay, where's the car? This is where I was talking about. Like, okay, let's see the car on stage. Car on stage, and we see all this interesting weather. We see interesting different environments of how the weather changes and how even when the weather changes, it changes with the world. So like, or first in the fall, some things are closed off because of the summertime, but now you're in fall, and so everything's a little open. In the winter, you can actually race on the ice, which is like dangerous yet awesome. And now I'm like, oh cool, this is awesome. Where's the car? Where's the car that's going to appear on the stage? And then we get to the stage, there's no car, just another live gameplay demo. And then, like, I was a little disappointed there was no car. I mean, talk about the game. The game is really cool. I do think it's really interesting how the weather really makes it different, and how when you play on one stage in the springtime, it's different than playing on the same stage in, like, the wintertime. And I thought that was really interesting. So your race course literally changes just because it's raining, or just because it's snowing, or just because it's leaves are on the ground. That's really interesting and cool. It comes out October 2nd. Awesome. Where was the car? Okay, I'm moving on. Then they talk a little more about as Microsoft has acquired some new studios. They talk about a new studio they made called The Initiative. They have studios called Undead Labs. They have Playground Games. Those are the guys who made Forza. They have Ninja Theory, and they have especially one interesting one, Compulsion, which is the people who make the second game that I'm going to talk about here, We Happy Few. Oh, good lord. We saw this game like way back in 2014? 2015? 2014? 15? We saw... No, 2016. I'm sorry. E3 2016 we saw this. I'm sorry. This is the game where all these crazy people are taking this pill that's supposed to make you happy, and you're supposed to block out everything because you're just supposed to be happy all the time. But then when you don't take the pill, you go into deep, dark, weird depression. Everybody goes nuts because you ain't taking the pill. And so they get a little more of the lore saying if people know the truth, they won't be happy. If people know the truth, everything will go into chaos. But people are in chaos because they taking this stupid thing. It was so... That game looks... that looks so freaky, but I like it. It's weird, but I like it. The story is so interesting. I mean, it just... I think... I'm left wordless because it's weird. We actually got to say, take off that friggin'... Like, the dude was saying, take off your mask. And like, no... Have the mask. Here, have some joy. Stop giving the man freaking joy. He clearly doesn't want it. But, oh god, it's interesting. We got to see, like, this big city of people happy, but then we get to see the ruins of the town. I'm like, where are we going? What is this weird world we're in? And I'm intrigued. I'm interested. Release date, August 10th, 2018. Awesome. Great. I'm glad they showed more of that. PUBG. Showed off some updates, new maps, new war modes. Great. PUBG. Okay. Yeah, great. I have nothing else, because it's not that I don't like the Battle Royale, but between the two, I'm way more interested in Fortnite than I am PUBG. But I'll admit, it was good. I mean, I'm glad they showed it, because it gives more information. Obviously, it's coming to everything, not just Xbox One. But, unless, I forgot if they said, oh no, it was just world premiere, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was interesting. Great. PUBG. Got some updates. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. Coming this winter. Obviously, it's a remake of an RPG. I've never played it. I just say now I never played it. I just thought it was interesting because it had this anime art style. And it was pretty decent. And obviously, if you've ever played this game, you're going to love it. But I have no idea what that was. But I will say it looked good. Not because I'm like some corporate shell saying, oh, say anything looks good. No, I'm saying like it legitimately looks interesting. But yeah, it looked. I like the look of this one. I do like anime RPGs because I do like the art styles of them. Because it looked bright and colorful. I liked it. Next we move into. I didn't know this was gonna be here. The Division 2. And like when I saw it, I was like, okay, that makes sense why they're showing it because of what they did last year. But this year they showed Division 2, and I was like, okay, we're getting to, because I heard they announced this. I thought, okay, I want to see some Division 2. I want to see like what's this new idea in the world. And it turns out the virus is still around. It's still spread. Now even the government's going crazy about it. And I'm like, oh snap! Now the government's against us. And we get to see, now we're going into the gameplay. Now we get to the gameplay. We get some live gameplay. All right, and voice acting. Not the game voice acting. People talking as if they're playing the game. They're supposed to be real and clearly, and I know, and it's okay. It didn't ruin the game for me. Like it did still look interesting. It did kind of remind me of the original, but there were some improvements. I liked how at one point there was an enemy threw this like sticky stuff, and you were stuck to your place, kind of like a God, like you were stuck in like Amber or something. I can't think of a comparison for a game, but it did look interesting. You had like hive bombs and different types of guns. You literally threw like micro rockets, and then suddenly you were like in decrepit of Air Force One, and then suddenly someone's shooting at you, and I'm like, that looked interesting. The people talking. It wasn't horrible because it wasn't like, oh, I got these two tangos on my tail. All right, dude, I'm gonna help you out. No, they're like, oh snap, there's these two dudes and this guy around me. It sounded a little more realistic, but at the same time, I'm like, really, doing this. We're doing this. Just have the guy say, oh, here's this world, and explain while we're playing. Don't have fake people talking over the thing as if they're playing. Maybe they were playing. I don't know, but odd. Fine. Division 2 comes out March 15th. I'm glad we got a release date. Gamer Pass. Fast Start Initiative. Every minute I heard this, I thought they were talking about this new Skynet program. Because of the way it sounds like I have new algorithms to help get your games faster. And I'm like, you're trying to Skynet these people. Like, I'm afraid you're trying to put me under Skynet and zap me. Like, oh, I'm sorry. That was just kind of funny how they were talking about, like, the algorithms and stuff. But, okay, but they were talking about new games coming to their Gamer Pass, saying how games that you could play, like, when they're released on Game Pass, and you can get it right then and there. And they also talked about new games available, including Fallout 4, the original Division, Elder Scrolls, Tamriel, and yeah, those games, they're available now for the people on Game Pass, and they got a new update coming this June. Yeah, this June. Awesome, cool. I'm sorry, this July. They went into it, after that they went into the Indie Sizzle Reel. Awesome. Saw some clips of some games I really liked, thought they were interesting. We saw Super Meat Boy Forever, we saw Ashen, we saw tons of interesting indie titles. I love it when they do this. Awesome. Really looked really cool. Awesome indie titles. We then saw Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Knew it. I knew it was going to show up. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Lara Croft finds something. Something happens. Now she's got to save it before the whole world is destroyed. Pretty much, that's what's it. With questions of Dora's character in it as well. That's pretty much what's it. But it still looks cool. I'm probably gonna see it. I'm ready to watch someone play it. I don't know. Still, I'm glad they showed it. It was going to show up. You showed it good. Comes out 9/14. I think we all knew that already. Then we saw the skateboarding game. I'm like, okay, is this the Tony Hawk game? Or is this like Skate 4? Did EA save Skate 4 for here? No, it's this new game called Session. And it's about skateboarding. And that is about all I can say, because they just showed a trailer and done. That's all I can say. Session. I don't even think they gave a release date. Okay. Next, The Black Desert. It's an MMORPG, and it has multiple characters, and you're fighting monsters in the Black Desert. Interesting. It looked interesting because I liked the story. At first, I thought it was about the woman who was talking, but no, the woman who was talking is behind the whole thing, releasing the monsters, and it's an MMORPG. It's interesting looking. I'll give it that. But it's an MMO, it's an MMORPG. That's about all I can say for it. It had an interesting feel, especially kind of the story about the like I've lived 3 times, I've died 3 times, and now I'm back again, so I'm gonna get y'all. I'm just like, I don't know, that was interesting. Okay, so I'm like, okay, interesting, cool. All right, new trailer. Okay, what's happening? Devil May Cry 5. Uh, oh god, that the whole internet blew their minds the moment I saw this trailer. Uh, this game does look cool because I love Bayonetta. I know this is from Capcom, although I know it's not the same people, but I know Bayonetta and Devil May Cry are very similar, so I feel like, oh, when I saw the gameplay of this, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna know. I need to at least try this. I need to at least, yeah, I need to at least touch it. I need to at least touch the game. Like, just give me the case. My life is complete. It looked really cool. It was like fast paced. It was hard edge. We saw the monsters look huge. We got Dante using his robot arm and his guns. Got a band just ramming in all demons. And I'm like, awesome. This looks awesome. And it just looked cool. It just looked straight up cool. It looked straight up cool. It looked interesting. The gameplay looked like it just looked amazing. I I honestly didn't expect it. I'm swear I understand, like, I sometimes I pay attention to rumors and leaks and stuff, but I just didn't expect. I did not expect it at that time. I was like, okay, cool. What's next? Devil May Cry 5. All I can do is clap my hands because that was friggin' awesome. Trailer was awesome, and it has a spring 2019 release date. All right, cool. It exists. Awesome. The game just looked awesome. Oh god. How do you keep up this high that they said? So after that they said every game after about Devil May Cry is, well, I'm sorry. Before Devil May Cry, they announced every game after it would be a world premiere. Then they showed Devil May Cry, and then they showed new DLC for Cuphead. Yay, Cuphead has DLC. It's not coming out until 2019, but they did show it's going to be a new story and a brand new character, Lady Cuphead. Actually, they call her. I forgot what they call her. I know. All I can think of is that she's a Lady Cuphead. She's like a woman Cuphead. She's like a kettle or like something, a feminine version of a cup. That sounded really sick. I'm so sorry to women who might watch me. But it looked really fun. It looked interesting. That new character alone, I thought it was interesting, and she has the ability to double jump automatically, and I'm like, cool. And I'm glad that this game is getting DLC because it adds something new. It's an interesting story. I'm excited for that. Cuphead DLC comes out 2019. Then we gotta look at. Okay, I'm gonna say this. The game looks cute. The game looks fun. I think it's great. The game's called Tunic, and the minute I saw this trailer, I saw it and I immediately thought, this is The Legend of Zelda with a fox. This is The Legend of Zelda with a cute little fox. A cute little fox in a tunic, finding a sword, cutting the grass, fighting off enemies in a semi-platformer-ish type environment, and he has to stop a great evil with a bigger sword. It's Zelda. It's Legend of Zelda with the little red fox. The minute I looked at that, it looked like Legend of Zelda. It looked like classic Zelda. It looked like Zelda with a little red fox. I'm not saying it's bad because it looked really interesting. Because I thought it was cute. I thought it was funny. I thought it was cute. It's like little red fox doing the sword. Yeah, take that. Cool. It's Legend of Zelda with Little Red Fox. It looked like Legend of Zelda with Little Red Fox. I'm sorry if I offended someone, but good lord, every time I look at this game, it looks like Legend of Zelda with Little Red Fox. Moving on. Looks fun. I don't think it got a release date, but okay. Then we get to the game that just blew my mind, and if I tell somebody, they're gonna blow. I know one friend of mine is gonna have his mind just straight up blown. So they announced this new game from Bandai Namco, where it is and they showed this trailer of these worlds will come together, And I'm like, okay, what worlds? Is a crossover? And then I see like some ancient ruins. I'm like, okay. Then I see like a pirate ship, and I'm like, wait, that ship looks familiar. Then I see a UFO, and I'm like, wait a minute, is this Dragon Ball? One Piece? And then I see Naruto, I see Luffy from One Piece, and then I see Goku from Dragon Ball fighting off Frieza. And I'm like, oh snap, this is a crossover game, and that's freaking awesome. And so we see them fighting off Frieza, each one of them using their super attacks, and then cuts to the game, Jump Force. And I'm like, oh, show and jump. And then they move on, and not before they think that's the end. No, teaser shows at the end. I'm like, okay, oh, something special about to happen. I look, Ryuk and Light Yagami from Death Note. I'm like, wait a minute, how do you put them in a fighting game? And I'm like, I am shocked. That looks interesting. Oh god, my brain kind of hurt when I saw that, because I was like, how do you put them in a fighting game? And I need to see that. I know. Oh, good lord. But yeah, Jump Force comes out 2019. Awesome. Next game, Dying Light 2. Remember Detroit Become Human, where all the choices you made, and it turns out to be the ending is always a little different because the choices you make end up something different? Well, this is Dying Light. Same premise, except multiplied by 100, and parkour and zombie fights. And I was like, whoa, because this is the premise of the game. They usually demonstrated with one thing, and they were like, look, so this special freedom force is in this city, and these two people stop in a water supply. You can either stop them and beat them up to get the water supply to all the people in the city, but, you know, they're going to have to do it under the force of this little freedom force thing, and freedom force is like, hey, look, you better follow our rules or else. And if you don't follow our rules, you're going to die. Or you can join the two, do some black market water passing out, except you're going to bite all these gangsters and thieves and all these people to your city, and you probably going to die. And the amount of different things that can happen is staggering. That was just one decision. And if you go with Freedom Force, yeah, they good, but who knows what will happen if you just fall under their rule. But if you go the black market route, that who knows how many people you'll invite, who knows how much trouble, that could be more trouble for your city. And to top it all off, that's just in the daytime. When at night, you gotta make even more decisions, and zombies will eat you. And zombies about to eat you. Zombies will eat you if you make the wrong decision at night. Oh god, the choices in this game look crazy, and woo. Dying Light 2, they didn't give a release date, but take your time, because I imagine you're going to have to, because I'm going to need to take some time to think of my decisions, because I'm going to be like, okay, if I don't do this, I'll be okay, but if I do this, I'm going to die. Next up, I see this little cartoon, I'm like, they talking, wait, and I see those little comic panels, and I'm like, wait, what is this? Like, I don't know what this is. And suddenly, we say, wait, what is that? I see a little hovering thing. I'm like, wait, what is this? It looks familiar. I just can't put it. Then I see a little, like, bubblegum something, and then I realized it's a tongue. Battletoads, like a brand new Battletoads game. Like, straight up. And they said, hand-drawn, 2.5D art style. Fighting, 3-player co-op. And I'm just like, what? Because, I mean, we don't see any actual gameplay, but we do see more of the we do see the idea and the premise of the trailer, and it looks really cool. Even the director's like, 2.5D gameplay, 3-player co-op, stuff I'm saying on screen that I'm not showing, but you know what? It's gonna sound awesome because it's big text. It looks really fun. Just out of that, it looked really cool. It comes out 2019. Awesome, excited, and Black Nerd Comedy just blew a brain cell. Like, again, internet lost their minds, although I know which part of the internet lost their minds. Next, Square Enix. They showed up all through this press conference. They showed up more. I wonder if they'll show up more here than at their own press conference. I don't know. That's a joke. Just Cause 4. At first I thought it was like, what is this? This looks like Street Deus Ex. And then I'm like, oh, it's Just Cause 4. And December 4th. Awesome. That's like, and I don't mean that it's coming out this year. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's coming out next year. Nope, this year. Great, awesome. Now we get into the three main things. I say main things. They all kind of round out the press conference, or so I thought. First off, Gears pop figures. And I don't mean, oh, we're showing off Gears pop figures. I mean, there's a mobile game dedicated to Gears pop figures. And I'm like, wow. Because when I saw the trailer, like, oh, snap, Gears of War. And then I see Wall Burst. It's a little tiny chibi. It's a little chibi pop figure character. I'm like, really? Okay. And then we see kind of the idea of it. They don't show the gameplay. That's just a teaser. But it's coming to mobile. That looks. I might just get that. Because I love cartoon versions of like super serious stuff. I like this hard, gritty world of Gears of War turned little tiny chibis. Chibi pop figures. I love it. Gears Tactics. They also announced that we saw some gameplay of that. It's basically set before Gears of War. What is with this? Set before the time of the original Gears of War. Oh, of course, one of those. And Gears Pop. Not Gears Pop. Gears Tactics. It's a tactics game. That one I didn't really care. I'm like, okay, great. Alright, cool tactics game. Okay, cool. That was a little more not as fun. Gears Pop comes in 2019. Gears Tactics, sometime after, I don't know, they didn't get released on that. But then they were like, oh yeah, we're also working on Gears 5. Here's some footage and some gameplay. And I'm like, wait! Well, I thought they were just going to mention it. I thought they were like, because at first it was like, oh yeah, we're working on Gears 5. I was like, okay, cool. And then they're like, here's the footage and stuff. I'm like, oh, you showing the full thing. Okay, I'll watch. And we kind of see one of the main characters, she loses someone she clearly loves. And it's like, I've seen this in my dreams. I have this pendant, and I need to find the answers. And then people are like, okay, go find the answers. I'm like, will you come with me? Like, I'll go with you. Wait, you can't go with her. But she's my friend. I'm going to go with her if I want to. Okay, look. If she goes crazy, not because she will on purpose, but if she goes crazy, this is to keep in mind. And now they're off on this adventure, and they're fighting off these monsters and even some like dark robots, and it looks really. The story of this feels heavy. And then we see at the end, it's like, why did you follow me? Because you asked me. Because my comedic answer is, because you asked me to. I know there's a serious answer, but every time I saw it, I was like, why'd you follow me? Because you needed someone to come with you. That's why. I know, obviously, it's like, are you here to kill me? But I'm like, okay, it was a very interesting. It looked interesting. I'm glad they actually acknowledged, hey, there's a Gears of War 5. I'm like, awesome. Great. Comes out 2019. Awesome. So then Phil Spencer comes back out. He rounds out the show saying, hey, thank you all for coming. Obviously, we showed you all this stuff. And don't worry, we're working on our next Xbox. They didn't go into, like, Project Scorpio levels of that, but they just showed off. They said, hey, we're even working on the future. Thank you all for coming. Glitch! Nope. I thought this was like, oh, this is legitimately end. Then suddenly, Z, and like we got hacked. I thought this was going to be like a video game version of, what's the name of that show? Mr. Robot. There it is. I thought we were going to see a video game of Mr. Robot. And I'm like, what the heck? And then suddenly type, and it's like CD, and I see CD, and I see some like project, and then I said, oh, this is Cyberpunk 2077. I'm sorry, not 2077. 2077. Cyberpunk 2077. There, I said it. We see that. We see the world saying, yeah, the crime rates is terrible. The poverty line is way below what it should be. Everybody wants to come to this city. And we see it. And it's interesting, this world. It's really interesting. It's kind of like it's like there are humans and there are robots, and everybody just don't like everybody. I mean, like robots fighting robots, people fighting people, people fighting robots, robots fighting people. It looked weird, but interesting. But mainly weird. And, yeah. They didn't give a release date. Or at least not from what I saw. They didn't give, like, release timing, but interesting. We all kind of knew it was going to be here at the show, and they showed it. They saved it for last. It was an interesting reveal. No gameplay, just a little like CG teaser, but still really cool. So that was all of Xbox's stuff. Good lord, that was a lot of stuff. Problems with it. As cool as some of this stuff was, there were still some issues that I had. Let me see if I can go back, because good lord, there was a lot of stuff. Some of this stuff was just CG trailers. Like Cyberpunk was just a CG. Gears Pop was just CG. Battletoads was just like a little teaser trailer. I mean, not everything had to be like this big epic gameplay / cinematic trailer, but there were some stuff that was, and I felt it was like some of the more important stuff. Like example, I'll go back to Tales of Vesperia. I never heard of that. I know it's an RPG, but we saw like the gameplay snippets. There were some, but I still didn't like. Wait, so it's an RPG? So like, what is this? I don't really know what it is. I'm not saying it's bad, but I feel like I need a gameplay snippet more. We saw. Let me see. Like Metro Exodus, we saw a combination of cinematic and gameplay. I felt like it was balanced. And then we moved to like games like Fallout 76 and Cyberpunk. We didn't see any gameplay. Now, granted, Fallout, obviously they're gonna show them later at their press conference, but Cyberpunk, we didn't see anything. I felt as though there were a lot of CG stuff, but it's still good because there were still some game. There were enough gameplay snippets, obviously, but I felt like there were a couple of CG trailers on some key stuff. Like Jump Force was CG, and I thought, wait, you need some gameplay for that, definitely. But okay. Yeah. So for this conference, it's reaching A's. It's reaching A. Obviously, I had to think more about it. Obviously, once again, I'll have a full video detailing all that stuff. Overall, I liked it. Overall, I really liked it. I thought there were a lot of genuine surprises with it. I thought it was interesting to see. I think some of the more shocking moments was when I just kind of really didn't know what I was looking at. And that was interesting. If I had to give some criticism, again, it'd be like a lot of CG. But I'd also say, I think there may be I think one legit hiccup is there was one moment with, I think, let me see if I can, where was it at? Yeah, when they were talking about, I think the only slow moment was really when they were talking about Game Pass and how they were talking about the algorithms. That was really only the slow moment that I can think of. Because honestly, I felt that was I felt that was a little more talky, and it was a little more of just them talking about their algorithms and their super awesome stuff, how we're going to get to you faster, and I felt Skynet-ish. Like, hey, we got this algorithm, and now we know about you. The algorithm knows. We got this special algorithm. I'm like, okay, cool. That's awesome. And then even they admitted, like, okay, let's just talk about the games now. I like they had humor with this. So, great. It's leaning more towards lowest probably is B+. Lowest would be B+. Honestly, no, lowest probably B+, A- for this one. We'll talk later probably about this. I'll, of course, give some thinking, make final grades. Awesome. Next time, Bethesda. Will they do good? Will they do good? Will they do good? I don't know. But that's the mystery, and that's the fun stuff. Catch you guys next time. There will always be more where this came from. Catch you guys later.